Let's discuss about the some of the periodic properties of the elements. That's we are continuing here. So that is called electron affinity or electron gain enthalpy. Let's see the definition. It is the amount of energy is going to be released when an electron is added to an isolated neutral gaseous atom. I mean, so in order to put one electron where the energy is going to be released, right? In order to remove one electron, energy is going to be required, right? We have seen in the ionization energy, right? So in order to remove one electron from this outermost shell, energy is going to be consumed here, right? Required. But here we are going to put one electron, means energy is going to be released. That is vice versa. Ionization energy and this electron affinity, both are vice versa. So here x I am going to take a general. So I am going to put an electron. Now it becomes x minus. That is called electron affinity. Q is nothing but the amount of energy, and it is going to be measured in kilojoule per mole. Now I am going to take an example. Chlorine. Chlorine, you know that its atomic number will be 7. And its nearest noble gas is called argon, right? Argon is its nearest because that contains the atomic number is 18. 18 is nothing but the completely filled electrons in the orbitals. That's why these elements, in order to stability, in order to get the stability, one electron is necessary for this chlorine atom. Now after adding one electron, now it becomes Cl minus. If Cl minus, now electron will be 18, right? So now it becomes stable. So how much energy is required here? It is minus 348.5 kilojoule per mole. So this is an electron affinity. And what causes in the periodic table? Let's see here the variation of electron affinity in the periodic table. What will happen? When you look at the periodic chart, let's see here the electron affinity increases along the period. Electron affinity which goes increases from left to right. That is called along the period, right? So this horizontal row we are going to call as a period, and its vertical column we are going to call as a group. That is goes increases from left to right. Why? Because of this, when you are going to add an electron, that to the same principal quantum number shell, right? I have already explained that these are the reasons are same for everything. When you are going to add an electrons to the same principal quantum number or principal shell, what happens? Effective nuclear charge goes on increases, and also atomic radius that goes on decreases. So that's why electron affinity increases along the period. What about this one? Electron affinity decreases down the group. Why? Because so when we are going to add an extra electron to the new principal shell, that's we have seen that 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, right? That shells are the number of shells are going to be increases, right? So when you are going to add an electron to the different shells, what happens? Effective nuclear charge decreases, but atomic radius and atomic size that will goes on increases. That's why electron affinity decreases down the group. We can give one more example, that is as fluorine, right? Fluorine, its atomic number will be 9. This is what unstable till. So because it when I put an electron, now it becomes noble gas. That is called neon, right? Now it becomes stable like this. So let's discuss about the one more point. We have studied electron affinity or gain enthalpy. So this one is electronegativity. What it is? It is defined as the tendency of an atom of a molecule to attract the shared pair of electrons towards itself. This is very important while studying in a bond formation and organic chemistry, especially this electronegativity is very important. So what are the factors affecting mainly for this electronegativity? So one word, electronegativity is nothing but so it attracts the shared pair of electrons towards itself. It is going to be pull electrons towards itself, right? So the factors affecting nuclear charge and atomic radius. So these are the very main things for all these two factors which apply all the properties for the periodic properties of the elements. So how can I give the example for this one? Towards itself, right? Now I am going to tell HCl. This is a hydrogen gas, this is a chlorine gas. So according to the statement, it is defined as the tendency of an atom of a molecule. This is a molecule to attract the shared pair of electrons. So this is chlorine is highly electronegative than this hydrogen. What happens? It is going to obstruct the bond pair of electron towards itself. Now it is going to release as the H plus and Cl minus, because it is going to take an extra electron towards itself, means that becomes Cl minus and now it becomes H plus. What about the variation of electronegativity in the table? What types here? Same. Electronegativity increases along the period. Same. From left to right, that electronegativity goes on increases because of the we are going to add an extra electron to the same principal shell. Effective nuclear charge increases and atomic radius or atomic size decreases. That's why it is increases along the period. And electronegativity decreases down the group because when you are going to add an electron to the different principal shells, effective nuclear charge decreases, atomic size or radius increases. That's why it is decreases down the group. So these are the very important properties. Let us discuss about the valence or oxidation state. So this is also very important one of the properties of all the elements in the periodic table. So valence we can define in many ways. So in that one we are going to tell that the combining capacity of an element. The combining capacity of an element we are going to call as valency, or the number of electrons which will be going to be present in the outermost shell electrons or outer orbit we are going to call as the valence electrons. So this is one definition. The number of hydrogen or number of halogen atoms which combine with one atom of an element, then we are going to call as valence. Let's take one example. This is called as the ammonia. Now our aim to find out what is the valency of the nitrogen here. So according to the definition, so the number of hydrogen atoms, here hydrogen atoms, how many will be there? Number of hydrogen atoms will be 3. That's why the valency of nitrogen will be 3, like this. And I can take one more example, that is called PCl5. What will be the valency of an phosphorus in this compound? Phosphorus pentachloride. Here number of halogen atoms here. Number of halogen atoms. How many are there? 5. That's why its valency or oxidation state of phosphorus is 5 plus 5, like this. Or I can take one more example, HCl. HCl, you know that how it is going to be formed here. So hydrogen is 1s1 electron, right? So its nearest noble gas is called helium. That's why this hydrogen requires 2 electrons to become stable. Similarly, chlorine is an 17 electron. Its nearest noble gas is argon. Hence, it requires only 1 electron to become stable. That's why these will be going to be shared their electrons. Hydrogen which is going to be give 1 electron to chlorine to become stable, and also meanwhile chlorine is also giving 1 electron to the hydrogen to become stable. So now what happens, according to the electronegativity parameter, this will be the higher will be there. That's why it absolutely bond pair of electron towards itself. Now it becomes H plus and Cl minus. I mean Cl which is going to attract 1 electron and hydrogen which is going to be lose here, right? So its valency is called plus 1 and chlorine now it get a minus 1. Like this we are going to call valency. And when we look at the S block and the P block elements, we are going to tell that valency of an electron. So considering group 1 and group 2 elements, so and also in S block, P block elements, we are going to count the valency based on the number of electrons which will be going to be present at the outermost electrons. That is called number of valence electron. In group 1, it will be 1 will be there. In group 2, 2 will be there. So you can take an example for this one, sodium, right? Sodium, you know that. Sodium is what? 11. 11 means I am going to write as 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 10. Now it become last one 3s1. So this is called outermost electron because of this new principal shell, right? So this is the one outermost electron, right? Which is going to be lose one electron. Now it becomes Na plus, like this. So group 1 elements can lose only 1 electron and its valency is 1. And group 2 elements, group 2 means magnesium, like this, those elements, calcium. So they are ready to lose 2 electrons outermost. Now it becomes valency 2. What about 13, 14? Now I am going to take an example for the group 13 elements. Group 13 elements can have maximum 3 valencies. Suppose boron. Boron comes under the group 13. 5. Atomic number will be 5. 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. Its outermost electron is how many? 3 will be there. Its outermost electrons will be 3 because this is a completely filled shell. A shell, this is called L shell, right? So because of the principal shell same will be there. This is called second shell. So its outermost electron will be 1 and plus 2. In order to get the plus 1, it is going to remove only 1 electron from the p orbital of the boron atom. In order to get the 3 outermost electrons, so it loses 3 electrons to become the 3 plus 3 oxidation state. What about the 14? 14 nothing but the carbon. Carbon will be 6. 1s2, 2s2, 2p2, its outermost electron configuration will be 4, and it is ready to lose all the 4 electrons to become valency. Carbon is 4. That's why carbon is always called tetravalency. Tetravalency means, so like this. This is called tetravalency. And come to the 15 group. What comes after that? Nitrogen will come. Nitrogen, right? So nitrogen will be 7. 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. So its outermost configuration will be 5 will be there. So either it may lose all the 3 electrons from p orbitals, or then becomes plus 3 will be there. Otherwise, when it forms plus 3 like this will be there. So otherwise it is also ready to lose the 2 electrons from s orbital. That is also 5. Maximum will be 5 will be there for this nitrogen. So like this, all the periodic properties of the elements show their respective valency. But this is not same in the case of the d block elements and f block elements. They come in different form. Let's discuss about the anomalous properties of the second period of the element. What do you mean by this anomalous property? Let us discuss here. You know that first period only the elements present like hydrogen and helium, right? Both are gases. Come to the second period of the first comes lithium, next beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon. These comes the second period, right? So what happens? Second period from the group 1 elements. Group 1 elements comes hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, right? Group 2 will be like this, beryllium, magnesium, like this comes here. What happens? This lithium and some of these group 1, group 2 elements and group 13 to group 17 elements, they are going to show some defects in there. So those defects we are going to study here. Like first I take the group 1 elements. You know that group 1 elements comes the lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, like this, right? So what we are going to make it one family, right? These families who are going to call as the group 1 family. Why? Because they are going to show the similar properties, right? That's why we are going to place along the column, vertical column, right? So what happens among these elements? Sodium, which is going to be differs from these properties of the elements, right? I can tell that one of the main property, I told that group 1 elements and group 2 elements always they show ionic bond, or they are going to form the ionic compounds, right? After the formation of ionic bond, we are going to call that compounds, we are going to call as ionic compounds, right? These form the ionic bonds. But this lithium, which is going to form not an ionic compounds, instead they are going to form the covalent compounds. Like this, they are going to differ from the elements of this respective family. That what causes them? Because of the anomalous behavior, so due to the following reasons, right? What are those reasons? Small size. Yes, obviously lithium is a small size, right? And high electronegativity of the first period elements, high electronegativity. Suppose if you take the group 13, 14, 15, right? So when you electronegativity, you know that which goes as increases along the period from left to right. That is right, second period. Almost all they are having. The fluorine is containing the highest electronegativity in the periodic table. That comes the second period. Like this, the high electronegativity of the first element of this second series. And also one more parameter, absence of the d orbitals in the valence shell of this series. So here the absence of the d orbitals will be there, because the d orbitals which is not enter here, because the d means containing the maximum 10 electrons, right? So when you write the electronic configuration of these elements, there will be absence of the d orbitals. So that's why we are not going to fill the electrons in their respective orbitals, and d orbital means it contains the maximum 10 electrons in that. So this anomalous behavior we are going to call as the diagonal relationship. So that is what do you mean by this diagonal relationship? Let's define here. Some elements of the second period, this is second period, show the similarities in the properties with the elements of the third period, right? Instead of showing the similar properties of this same family of this group 1 elements, they are going to show the properties this lithium for the group 2 elements, showing the similarities in the properties of with the elements of third period placed diagonally to each other. So placed diagonally to each other. So this relation we are going to call as the diagonal relationship. This lithium metal which is going to maintain the diagonal relationship with magnesium, Similarly, this beryllium, which is going to maintain diagonal relationship with aluminum, and for last one boron is also silica. Like this will continue here. 13 to 17 will come here. So this is called an anomalous properties of the second period elements.